Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Daily English Learn. I'm Eva.
And I'm Mark. Thanks so much for joining us today. If this is your first time here, let me tell you what we do. We take the English challenges that you face every single day and we help you solve them. No heavy grammar books, no boring rules, just real English that you can use right now.
That's right. And today, we're talking about something that makes so many learners nervous. Picture this. You're at a coffee shop and someone asks you a simple question. Maybe they say, "So, what do you think of this weather?" And you know what? You freeze. Your mind goes blank. You want to say something, but nothing comes out. Or maybe you just say, "It's okay," and then silence.
I've been there. It's painful. You feel like the conversation just died and it's your fault. But here's the thing. It's not really your fault. Nobody taught you how to keep a conversation alive. And that's exactly what we're going to teach you today.
Yes, by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to take any simple question and turn it into a real, flowing conversation. You'll learn how to stop giving short, boring answers. You'll learn how to keep people interested when you speak. And most importantly, you'll feel confident the next time someone talks to you in English.
So let's start with the big question. Why do conversations die? Why do we suddenly have nothing to say? Well, there's one huge reason. And Eva, you want to talk about this?
Sure, it's something I call the fear filter. What does that mean? It means your brain is filtering everything before you speak. You think of something to say, but then your brain stops you. It says, "Wait, is that interesting? Will they think I'm boring? Is my grammar correct?" And while you're thinking all of this, time passes. The moment is gone, and you end up saying nothing at all.
Exactly. And this happens to almost every English learner. You're so worried about making a mistake that you don't say anything. But think about this. When you speak your own language with your friends, do you worry about every single word?
No, of course not.
Right. You just talk. You say whatever comes to your mind. And that's the secret. In English, you need to do the same thing. You need to stop checking every word before it comes out of your mouth.
Now I know what some of you are thinking. But Eva, I need to think about my grammar. I need to make sure I'm correct. And yes, grammar is important. But here's the truth. If you want to have real conversations, if you want people to enjoy talking to you, you have to speak naturally. You have to let your words flow.
Let me give you an example. Last month, I was at a cafe and I started talking to a woman sitting next to me. I asked her, "Do you come here often?" Now, if she had just said, "Yes," that's the end. The conversation is dead. But you know what she said?
What did she say?
She said, "Yes, I do. I love this place. The coffee here reminds me of the cafe I used to go to back in my hometown." And just like that, the conversation continued. We started talking about her hometown, about coffee, about traveling. One simple answer opened so many doors.
That's perfect. And that's what we want to teach you today. How to open doors in conversation instead of closing them. How to give answers that invite more questions. How to make people want to keep talking to you.
So let's talk about the first technique, and this one is powerful. We call it adding a reason. What does this mean? Whenever someone asks you a question, don't just answer yes or no. Don't just give one word. Add a reason, add a feeling, add a detail.
Let me show you. Imagine someone asks you, "Do you like your job?" Now, a short answer would be, "Yes, I do." That's fine, but it doesn't help the conversation. But what if you say, "Yes, I do. I really enjoy it because I get to work with creative people every day." See the difference?
Huge difference. Now the other person can ask, "Oh, what kind of creative people?" Or they can say, "That sounds interesting. What exactly do you do?" You've given them something to work with.
Exactly. And this works with any question. Let me give you more examples. Someone asks, "Did you enjoy the movie?" Don't just say yes. Say, "Yes, I loved it. The story was so emotional and the acting was amazing." Or someone asks, "Are you going to the meeting tomorrow?" Don't just say no. Say, "No, I can't make it. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning."
You see? Every time you add a reason, you add life to the conversation. You give the other person information. You make it easy for them to continue talking.
And here's the best part. You don't need perfect grammar to do this. You don't need fancy vocabulary. You just need to add one more sentence. That's it. One more sentence after your answer. Let me say that again. One more sentence after your answer.
Now, let's move to the second technique. This one is about listening. And I'm not talking about just hearing words. I'm talking about really listening. Because here's the secret. Every time someone speaks, they're giving you clues. They're giving you topics you can pick up and talk about.
This is so important, Mark. Let me explain. Imagine someone says, I went to the beach last weekend. Now, most people would just say, oh, nice, and then the conversation stops. But if you're really listening, you can find so many things to ask about.
Exactly. You could ask, which beach did you go to? Or you could say, I love the beach. Was it crowded? Or you could ask, did you go with friends or family? See? One sentence gave you at least 3 possible questions.
And this is what good conversationalists do. They listen for little details and then they use those details to keep the conversation going. Let me give you another example. Someone says, I've been learning to cook lately. Now, don't just say, that's good. Instead, you can ask, oh, really? What kind of food are you learning to cook? Or you can say, that's great. What made you start learning?
Yes, and notice something. These questions are open questions. They're not yes or no questions. When you ask open questions, the other person has to give you a longer answer, and that keeps the conversation alive.
So here's your practice. The next time someone tells you something, listen carefully. Find one small detail from what they said and ask a question about it. It could be about a place, a person, a feeling, or a reason. Just pick one thing and ask.
All right, now let's talk about the third technique, and this one is my favorite. It's called sharing something personal. What does this mean? It means you don't just ask questions all the time, you also share something about yourself.
This is so important, Mark, because conversations are not interviews. If you only ask questions, it feels strange. It feels like you're interrogating someone. But when you share something about yourself, the conversation becomes balanced. It becomes real.
Let me show you. Imagine someone says, I love reading books. Now, you could just ask, what kind of books do you like? That's okay. But what if you say, oh, I love reading too. I just finished a really interesting mystery novel. What kind of books do you like? See the difference?
Yes, now you've made a connection. You've shown that you have something in common, and people love talking to others who share their interests.
Exactly. And here's another example. Someone says, I'm really tired today. You could just say, why? But it's better to say, oh, me too. I didn't sleep well last night. What about you? Did you stay up late?
Perfect. You shared something, and then you asked a question. That's the balance. You give a little, you take a little. That's how natural conversations work.
Now, I want to pause here for a second and talk about something important. Some of you might be thinking, but Mark, I'm not good at talking about myself. I don't know what to say. And I understand. But here's the truth. You don't need to say something amazing. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to be honest and natural.
That's right. If someone asks, what did you do this weekend? You don't need to have an exciting story. You can just say, nothing special really. I stayed home and watched some movies. What about you? That's enough. You answered, you shared a little, and you asked them back.
And you know what? People appreciate honesty. They don't want you to pretend. They just want to have a nice, relaxed conversation.
Exactly. So don't put pressure on yourself. Just speak naturally. Be yourself. That's the best way to connect with people.
All right, now let's move to the fourth technique. And this one is the many students forget. It's called reacting with emotion. What does this mean? It means when someone tells you something, you show that you care. You show interest. You react.
Yes, think about this. If someone says, I got a new job, and you just say, okay, how does that feel? It feels cold, right? It feels like you don't care. But what if you say, Oh, wow, congratulations, that's amazing. What kind of job is it?
Huge difference. Now the person feels good. They feel like you're excited for them, and that makes them want to continue the conversation.
And this works for negative things too. If someone says, I had a really bad day, don't just say, oh. Say, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? Show that you understand. Show that you're listening.
Exactly. And you can use simple words to show emotion. You can say things like, that's great, or oh no, or really, or I can't believe it. These little reactions make a big difference.
Let me give you a few more examples. Someone says, I'm going to Paris next month. You say, wow, that's so exciting. Have you been there before? Someone says, I lost my phone yesterday. You say, oh no, that's terrible. Did you find it?
You see, you're not just responding, you're reacting. You're showing emotion, and that's what makes conversations feel warm and natural.
Now, here's something interesting. In English, we often use sound words to react. Things like, wow, oh, uh-oh, yay, oops. These sounds show that you're really listening. They show that you care.
That's true. So don't be afraid to use them. They make you sound natural and friendly.
All right, let's move to our final technique. And this one ties everything together. It's called asking follow-up questions. What does this mean? It means you don't let the topic die after one answer. You keep going deeper.
This is so important. Let me explain. Someone says, I like playing tennis. Now, you could ask, how long have you been playing? They answer, about 5 years. And then what? The conversation stops. But what if you keep going?
Yes, after they say, about 5 years, you could ask, oh, that's a long time. Do you play in tournaments or just for fun? And after they answer that, you could ask, what's your favorite thing about tennis? See, you're going deeper and deeper into the topic.
Exactly. And here's why this works. When you ask follow-up questions, it shows that you're genuinely interested. It shows that you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. You're really paying attention.
And people love this. They love when someone asks them more about their interests, their life, their experiences. It makes them feel valued.
So here's your practice. The next time someone answers your question, don't stop there. Ask one more question about the same topic. Go a little deeper. Keep the conversation flowing.
All right, Mark, let's quickly review everything we talked about today. We covered 5 techniques to keep conversations alive in English.
Mark, first, add a reason. Don't just give short answers. Add one more sentence to explain your answer.
Eva. Second, listen for clues. When someone speaks, listen for details. Pick one detail and ask a question about it.
Mark, third, share something personal. Don't just ask questions. Share a little about yourself, too. Make a connection.
Eva. Fourth, react with emotion. Show that you care. Use words like, wow, oh no, that's great, to make your reactions feel real.
Mark. And fifth, ask follow-up questions. Don't let the topic die after one answer. Go deeper. Keep asking.
If you use these 5 techniques, your conversations in English will completely change. You'll feel more confident, you'll sound more natural, and people will enjoy talking to you.
Now, here's your homework. Yes, we're giving you homework. The next time you have a conversation in English, try using at least 2 of these techniques. Maybe add a reason to your answer, and then ask a follow-up question. Just try it and see what happens.
And remember, don't put pressure on yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to practice. Every conversation is practice. Every mistake is a lesson.
That's absolutely right. And before we go, I want to remind you, if you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends who are learning English. And make sure you subscribe to Daily English Learn so you don't miss our next episode.
Yes, we release new episodes every week with practical English lessons just like this one. And if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, leave a comment. We read every single one.
All right, everyone, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep speaking.
See you next time on Daily English Learn.
Bye, everyone.